So if they're asking me where's the nearest nightclub, where's the nearest what action is there to do around things like that, and then I'll ask them, what are you looking for? What is your ideal dream vacation look like? And they tell me what they're looking for.
This is episode number 6 of Short-Term Rental Success Stories. Welcome back to Short-Term Rental Success Stories. I'm your host, Julian Sage. This is a show where I talk to hosts about their journeys in starting and growing their short-term rental business. My goal is that you'll be able to walk away with practical information that will help you become a better host and learn how to scale your business. So we had some amazing reviews come in that I wanted to share with you all. We have a review coming from CW Omac 88. He says, Chad Miller is an Airbnb expert. He understands this niche market and has the hustle and drive to be successful. Highly recommended. I have another one coming in from Hag1990. That's a funny username. She says, or he says, this is a great podcast, and Chad Miller knows exactly what he's doing with rentals and Airbnb. I recommend this. And then we also have one from Chad and his wife Katie. They said Julian is a well-organized podcast host. He directs the conversation well. For those who are looking to get more serious about their short-term rentals, his podcast is a great place to start. So thank you so much to everybody that left these reviews. That really means a lot. It is nice being able to hear from the community and from some of the previous guests on the show how this podcast has been able to help you or how you enjoy this show. So thank you so much. And since we are a new show, reviews would greatly help us grow. So please go on over to iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're actively listening, and please leave us an honest review, and we'll give your rental or your review a shout out on the next episode. Today, I had the pleasure of speaking with Nancy McAleer. Nancy is currently living in Montreal, Canada, but manages 3 properties on Anna Maria Island in Florida. Nancy likes to call herself a vacation rental geek, as she's the founder of FLARBO, Florida Rental by Owner, which is a direct booking site. She's a frequent writer for the Vacation Rental Marketing blog and is also a trainer at the Vacation Rental Mastered Workshop. Wow, Nancy does a lot about short-term rentals, and she knows what she's talking about. So in this episode, it's just jam-packed with Nancy's tips and expertise on explaining and establishing brand identity, getting repeat guests, screening tenants, and standing out amongst the overly competitive markets. There is just so much in this episode. You can definitely re-listen to this episode once to twice, a couple times, and you can take so much out of it. Or if you'd like my show notes for this episode, go on over to shorttermsage.com/EP6. If you like my show notes sent directly to your inbox every week, just go to shorttermsage.com/show notes, and I can just send those to you every week, so you don't need to take notes during the episode, because I'll take all the notes for you. But definitely listen to the episode, because there is so much in this that I can't even take notes on. You just have to listen to this. With all that being said, on to this week's conversation. Today I have the special honor of speaking with Nancy McAleer. Nancy, would you mind telling the audience a little bit about who you are and what inspired you to get into short-term rentals?
Sure. So I was formerly a director in a retail company, and how I got into it was accidentally. Obviously, most people do get into it accidentally in the old days anyway, in 2010. And at that time, the recession hit, and the company was going through bankruptcy protection, et cetera. So at the time, I received a golden parachute, if you want to call it that. And we had taken that money, my husband and I, and kind of put it to the side. And then we're speaking with our friends about it, our close friends, about how we wanted to maybe make a real estate purchase down in Florida, because it was a great time. The market was really low. And then they said, well, we want to do that too. So that's how it all kind of started, where we decided that we wanted a place in Florida eventually to retire to when we're older. And then that's how our own vacation rentals sort of started. And then it just snowballed from there. So I had another owner that I was networking with on the island, our little area in Florida where we're from. And she said, I want to do this idea. I kind of want to share resources. I want to come up with maybe this one listing site that we can launch where people can book direct and come to us and not have to pay the fees on VRBO or Airbnb. So that's how FLARBO was launched, FLARBO.com, Florida Rent by Owners. And that launched in 2017, and it's just skyrocketed from there. We're having such huge success, especially in the last 4 months or so. The traffic has just gone through the roof, where people are really looking for booking direct with owners that are verified, and owners are looking to connect with travelers outside of the OTAs, where a lot of the people are getting kind of bogged down because there's a saturation in the market now since vacation rentals really skyrocketed in the last few years. And then with that, I also joined a forum, which is a vacation rental marketing blog. And that's Matt Landau's marketing blog, which I love. And I was sharing my successes with them, and he asked me to write for him as well. So as I go along and I document my practices and procedures, I also write about marketing campaigns and things like that that are successful for other owners. And they're published on VRMB publicly as well. And then from there, Tyann Marsick and Alana Schroeder had launched this vacation rental mastered workshop. So it's a type of really boot camp style workshop where vacation rental owners are coming to really get a hands-on jump start into different things that are required to manage your vacation rental successfully. So that's like anywhere from getting your website launched to social media platforms, writing strategies, content strategies, SEO strategies, Facebook ads, things like that. So I teach at that every year. And this year it's in St. Louis in October, which is great. And then occasionally I'm on the Vacation Rental Success Summit conference, which is a vacation rental conference that's usually held annually. The next one, this year's skipped. The next one's going to be in 2020, hopefully in Florida. And then I'm usually on the owners panel speaking at that conference. So it's kind of skyrocketed, and I now consider myself a vacation rental geek, and I love talking about vacation rentals pretty much 24/7. So right.
I know you're the full-time vacation rental, like that's like your whole life is vacation rentals right now. So it's an honor to be able to have you on the show. A couple things that really kind of pointed out to me was you started in 2011 with your first property in Anna Maria. Tell me about the process, back then. Like, did you know going into that market that vacation rentals, that it was maybe like, that regulations could change? Because do you own your properties?
We do own our properties, and Anna Maria is kind of like the hotbed of controversy, or it used to be anyway, because it's just a really eccentric little island, which we love. But at one point, we were renting out very successfully, had a great screening process in place to make sure that the people that we're inviting into our homes are respectful of the neighbors. I mean, it is a community that's mostly retirees, with a lot of tourists that come in and out every week. So it is transient in nature. But one day the local municipality just decided, okay, there was so many complaints by the locals that they were going to have no more vacation rentals, period. So, wow. Just this eccentric thing that happened, and, totally illegal. And they just decided it was going to be that way. But, obviously they reneged on that eventually. But, we had to go through with our lawyers that we hired because they were putting in regulations of you could only rent to eight people maximum, which is fine for the majority of people. But we specialize in larger homes of 4 bedrooms and 5 bedrooms. And for us, our maximum was 10 and 12 people. So that would seriously affect our income. And we joined in with a few other owners with the same lawyers that we had, and successfully won our and are grandfathered in, thank goodness, to continue to rent out to our maximum amount. We didn't want any more. We didn't want like 26 people in the house. We didn't want that for our neighbors. We did not want that for us when we retire. We just wanted to keep the status quo, keep doing what we were doing, and make the same money that we were before without it affecting us. Because, I mean, that could have been devastating to us. It could have been a huge loss, and we could have been, lost our shirts if we wouldn't be able to rent the way that we do based on, all of our expenses.
Now, 10 to 12 people per home, that's to me, that sounds like a party. Like, 10 to 12 people in a single home on Anna Maria, Anna Maria is a party, it can be a party place. So
Yeah.
how do you handle like those types of eccentric people that are going there because they want to have fun, they want to have party, and you have such a large amount? How can you keep your home? Because I know a lot of people in the groups and in the forums, they're all saying, oh, we gotta keep people out, we don't want parties, we don't want more than this people. And obviously, because parties can lead to some issues. So what have you been able to do to handle those types of situations?
Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to start way in the front end. So you have to start with your marketing and who you need to market to, who you want in your house. So for us, we want extended families or friends. So it's normally 2 families are staying in our houses. It's something that I found was a trend in the market. I mean, when I was young, we never vacationed with our grandparents or friends. It was always just our own family. And back then it was only hotels. But nowadays, everybody goes on vacation with their friends. They go on vacation with their parents so they can help babysit, et cetera. So it's that's really who we're marketing towards. So in everything that we put into our houses, that's who we're trying to attract. So whether it's ping pong tables or basketball nets or kids' crow's nest with a working captain's wheel, we're really catering towards that family-friendly traveler. Now, it also trickles down from the photos to the listing details that are in your on your online travel agency property listings. So we have a blurb straight in there that says we are private owners and we are not interested in renting to partiers or people that will not respect our homes. And that's right in the listing description. So those people can go right out. So they know right away that we are going to be following up tightly on any partier situation. And from there, also my response in every inquiry and the quote, it also has the same paragraph, same type of blurb stating that we are not interested in renting our home. And oftentimes when I people are reading it, I know they're reading it because they come back to me and say, this is who we are. They describe themselves and they state, we will be very respectful of your home. So the message is getting through. And then there's some other things you can do too. I mean, there's some software and technology out there, like I think it's Party Squashers and Noise Aware, which are great tools to have in your home that you can monitor. Obviously, cameras too are great. Monitoring, the door, how many coming through. So, I mean, there's a lot of tools that are out there that you can really minimize your issues. And to be honest, we host about 1,000 people through our doors every year. And I think we've had really only one noise complaint with the sheriff coming, and it wasn't even our guest. It was the property manager's guest that we had a long time ago.
I think that's really interesting that you're able to keep that amount of people in your homes and have them treat that with such respect. You just hear so much on the Facebook groups, like they let some people in and they lied, they said someone was coming, but then a bunch of people came. What I'm really curious about is, because you're working with lawyers, do you because you're not technically allowed to not allow someone to stay at your home. So how do you kind of, how have you been able to keep such a high quality of person in your home without saying like, you can't you're not allowed to stay here.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think I've ever turned anybody away. I mean, obviously that's illegal, but if I've had conversations with potential travelers or travelers and potential guests, in that they're asking me questions that are like triggers for me. So if they're asking me, where's the nearest nightclub, where's the nearest, what action is there to do around things like that, and then I'll ask them, what are you looking for? What is your ideal dream vacation look like? And they tell me what they're looking for. And I had a few guests that I've told them, Anna Maria is not the place where you can find a lot of action at night. Everything closes up shop at 10 p.m. That's the island. That's who we are. That's who we're attracting. If they want to go for more action, I tell them it's really not the area for you. Or people with teenagers that they wanted to be closer to the action. Our area is northern on the island, that it's really not places for partying. And even in terms of the beach, I told them, you'll be happier down in the middle of the island, which is Holmes Beach. There's tons of volleyball nets for public use. And it's really where the teenagers hang out. And so, in that respect, you have those triggers. One more thing I forgot to mention earlier was that I created a photo album book too within the house. And I photographed everything in every room. You may think that's a little crazy, but I use it more like an operations manual and a checklist, as well as information, so that each guest, I tell them before they arrive, I phone them up. I, ease them into the process of checking in, give them any eccentricities that are on each house. And then I tell them, the operations manuals in the kitchen. When you get settled and you relax, you can look into that. I also have a You're Welcome iPad tablet that's in the kitchen as well in each house, which has, information on how to use things in the house, what information is in the house in terms of ordering up sports and bike rentals and things like that. They can order it directly through me on my website as well. So I push them in that direction. But the checklist, the photo album, is the key, because that has everything photographed. And when they see that, and they see that the cleaners are using that to check everything in the home, they know that the house gets checked every single turn. So less things are going missing, and things are placed back where they're supposed to be. So I have a very low turnover in theft. There's maybe a hit.
You still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're having some connection issues, but
okay.
But yeah, no, I think that's an awesome idea. I haven't heard that one yet from any of the guests that have been on the show, about the photo album with just a photo in every room and the stuff that's there. Not
it's
just
not really
as
a photo. I have to cut you off there. It's not really a photo album itself. It's one that you create online, so it looks like a book. So it has really nice photos, and also visually it has photos of, the remote control and how to use the smart TVs and things like that. It's all laid out visually. So I think that that's the key, and that's the reason why it's so successful, is because it looks good. It looks interesting. There's pretty pictures of the area and the island in it. So people pick it up and use it and flip through it. And I think that that's the difference. It can't be just like a crappy old photo album that you buy from Walmart with you just sticking photos in. That's not going to work.
Okay. No, and that's really good, because you're instructing you're showing the people, like, these are the items, these are the things that you can use in our home, but you're also letting them aware that it's like, we know these things are here, and if they go missing, it's like, well, the cleaners are checking. And
exactly. Because it's like a little bullet point. So the instructions are there for the guest, and then the instructions are there for the cleaning team. Checklist. Please check this. Do. One piece of artwork, one clock, one. So it's all there.
No, that's really good. And I don't know if we mentioned this before, but you're managing this full scale vacation rental business, and you're living in Montreal, Canada. So
yeah.
how have you been able to manage this operation and deal with such large numbers of people, all the way up north?
So for me, I really feel like whether I'm around the corner or whether I'm thousands of miles away. I'm on the same time zone, which is nice, but I'm only a phone call away. So if you're going to call a property manager or you're going to call me, I can probably take a decision faster because I have everybody on speed dial that's on what I call my team in terms of, the plumbers, the air conditioning company, the pool guy. I've got, the pest control. Everybody is on my speed dial. Cleaners too, my TV geek squad guy. So I've got everybody on speed dial and my handyman, obviously. And then I can take a decision right away and put something into action, probably a lot faster than a property manager can, because the property manager has to turn around and email me. I have to decide what to do, get back to them. And I'm answering phone calls. This week I answered a phone call, from a guest that was troubled with the TVs at 10 o'clock at night. And I was calling the internet provider. So I think I manage better than the property managers just because I've got everything so well organized. I think, you just kind of have to be, have your systems in place. And then that's one of them, making sure that all your references are ready and available and trustworthy, that they get the job done.
Now, before we started the recording, you said that 61% of your bookings are direct bookings, and the other percentage is VRBO home away. How have you been able to get such a high percentage of direct bookings?
So I think I know I do marketing campaigns as well on my own with my incoming guests. I have I have my own website, like I mentioned earlier. And my website is a Wix. I love Wix websites because they're very user-friendly for somebody who doesn't have a lot of information on how to run a website and how to maintain a website. And they have a lot of integrations, which are perfect for vacation rentals. So they've got the hotel app where you can take bookings. They've got the calendar that's integrated with that. They've got the newsletter shout outs, which are like a MailChimp or Constant Contact that, so if you're under like the premium plan, it's all included. You can have your blog in there too. It's fabulous. So for me, it's nurturing those guests all the way through. So as soon as guest books, I have them on my campaign, my marketing campaign for my incoming guest nurture. And then that's about 4 emails that go out. And it's not just emails, but it's like real nicely laid out, beautiful marketing newsletters that have integrated links that you can press on for, my insider guides. So I have insider guides to the best beaches on the island. I've got the insider guide to the top restaurants, the free trolley, the weather guide. I've got information on all the things that every guest has ever asked me pretty much more than once. I've got answered in that email nurture campaign. So information on what's included in the house, so they don't have to ask me what they can pack or what they should leave at home. So everything is in there, and not just the check-in documents are separate. But that's part of the campaign, so it goes through. But majority of it is really to get them excited about coming, to get them understanding that there's so much to do they can't get accomplished in one visit, and make them want to come back again and again, because I have an outgoing guest nurture campaign as well that explains to them how much that they were paying when they booked through VRBO and Airbnb, how much travel service fee that they gave to those online travel agencies. And for my rentals, it's anywhere between $179 and $399 per shot per booking. That's a lot of money. So I think that entices them, as well as I have a VIP club for my newsletter campaign. So if I have any specials or deals last minute that I send out, I normally give an extra $100 off, let's say, for them being in my VIP club. So I've built up a good contact list that way. And then I have really worked a lot on social media, and my social brand called Anna Marie Island Beach Life is there to attract the travelers as well. So I've got about 20,000 followers on Facebook on that page. And then I've got about, I think, 2,000 plus on Instagram. I haven't worked very much with Instagram. And then Pinterest is a huge one for me too. I think I get about 89,000 views per month on Pinterest.
Wow.
So working on that, and that's all based on my content that I've created on the website and on the blog. And I'm shooting that out into all those social media platforms and my newsletter, and then driving all the traffic back to me. And then that's how I think that it's been really successful so far.
Have you been able to track how much bookings you've been able to get through your social media marketing?
I'm really bad at that. I just include that in my direct. But I can tell you, Facebook, I get an inquiry about at least twice a week, if not more. Facebook groups are awesome. If you can join Facebook groups, that's a fantastic idea in your area. If there's one for vacation rentals or travel even, start your own. It's a fantastic way to get guests and leads. And then Pinterest, I had a lot more work done with Pinterest before when I was working with bloggers that were staying in my rentals. So there, I know I've gotten a few, but I don't know if I've gotten any this year so far, but it's early days yet. So
now I think that that's really interesting, Nancy, that you've built up this brand, this following online. How have you been able to get that started though? So when you first got your first property and you're getting into short-term rentals for the first time, vacation rentals, when did you realize it's like, I've got to move away and do this direct bookings and I have to build this brand and this following?
I think it was a gradual process. I know that my business partner, Mike, he's in the mortgage broker business here in Ottawa, or in Ottawa close by. And he was the one that said right away, we got to get our own website right off the get-go. So I think in doing that and understanding that you can't just flip up a website and expect people to find you or expect Google to find you, that's not going to work. You have to have backlinks, what are called backlinks. And I think in that aspect, social media platforms are very high domain authority and page authority. So it was a natural progression into ensuring that I was trying to drive enough traffic to the website to get more bookings and more leads. So right again, I knew that nobody was going to follow a Facebook page that said Anna Marie Island Home Rental. I knew it. It was just not social. It was just not fun. So that's where I came up with the idea. I followed another beach life. It's beach cottage life, I think it's called. And Renee is a photographer and she sells calendars and things like that. And I just loved what she was doing. I loved her quotes. I loved her seaside photos. She started really early on in Facebook in that respect. And then I kind of thought, well, people would follow a page that's like Anna Marie Island beach life, because it would be everything about the beach. And it would be everything about Anna Marie Island. And everything that I was going to post was all about, the people there and the beaches and what you could do. So it was all encompassing. It wasn't just about vacation rentals. And if you go on my pages now, you'll see that I'm posting maybe 20% of the time to feed into my website. Because I don't really need it right now because I book out already so well, 92%. But it's more of a social platform, right? So you have to stay social.
No, I think that's brilliant that you've been able to, and I think that's what's really great about your approach is that you're offering this, you're offering people something. You're offering interesting things. You're offering activities. And I think what a lot of people think is like, oh, I've got to build a website. I've got to build a Facebook page. I've got to build an Instagram. And then, and then people are going to want to come and stay because I'm going to be talking about my vacation rental and stay here, stay here, stay here, stay here. And they're not offering anything to anybody that is worth sharing or worth, coming back for. And even in your marketing campaigns, when you are doing your outgoing and your incoming, you're offering people this higher quality than they could expect from just staying in a hotel. Do you mind talking a little bit about like how much of your bookings are reoccurring bookings, and like how useful has been keeping that contact with your guests been?
So I think I haven't done a look on it recently, but I think my repeat bookings are probably around 25%. Um, and then in that respect, it's more about design, I think, and amenities. And in my houses, what we've done is in the first house, we learned a great lesson because it was two families that own the property, right? And that's who we were targeting, is people that have two families that were going to vacation at the same time. So we outfitted the house, our first house, with everything we would want in a vacation rental that was suited for that. So we had 2 master bedrooms with 2 en suites for sure. We don't want any masters sharing, right? Obviously bathrooms. We wanted to make sure that there was room for kids with bunk beds and, another teenager or grandma in a queen bedroom. So for that, it was that we were deciding that right away from the bedding accommodations. And then we decided that we wanted it to be like a resort. We didn't want it to be a vacation rental that's just a house. So we outfitted it with the backyard, with a backyard beach, tiki huts, hammocks, as well as the pool and the hot tub and the dock that you could boat to, because we're big boaters and we love sporting activities on the water. So in that aspect, that's what we outfitted the homes with. And then in our area, at the time when we first did that, nobody else was doing that. And that was really kind of, a lot of people had said, well, why would you put a backyard beach in if you have a pool? It'll just, wreck your pool. But you have to overcome those obstacles. And, it doesn't wreck your pool. It gets sucked up by the filter, which is not a big deal. And if you replace your filter more often, and you're getting 20% more in rental, it's a no-brainer. So that's where we first started. And then now in Anna Maria Island, you'll notice the quality of vacation rentals has just come up so crazy high. And that's who our competitors are now, with people who've followed suit and doing similar things with like these tiki hats and this crazy stuff that you'd only find at resorts. And now you can find them at vacation rentals, like waterfall water slides I see now and stuff like that. So, outdoor bars and TVs, we've got that. We have a sauna in one of our houses. So it's kind of like over the top. And that's really, I think, why we get a lot of people coming back again and again and again. And we outfit the houses with everything our guests want. If they want the Keurig coffee machine, we're going to get it. If they want the traditional coffee machine, we're going to offer it too. If they want a Weber charcoal barbecue grill, we got it. If they want the gas one too, we'll get the Weber gas grill. So we're getting everything that they could possibly want that they don't have at home.
It sounds like you're really outfitting your vacation rentals a lot more than what like the traditional Airbnbs or the short-term rental people are offering. It's like, here's a bed, here's the Keurig, and make yourself at home. But it sounds like you're like making this like they don't even need to leave the place. They've got everything right there. They don't have to go out to the beach.
Yeah.
It's like they got the whole party.
And we hear
home.
that. We hear that, they go to Disney for 1 week, they come to the beach for another week, and the kids say they had a better time in Anna Maria Island. They love their house better. So, that's really a great compliment. But if any Airbnb house can do this, if they've got, a condo or an apartment, they can put something in that apartment that can outperform their competition and put them above, for sure. Whether it's an espresso machine or something that will be enticing to that traveler who's coming into that area, you can do it.
No, that's a brilliant tip. I think definitely people can look at their competition, look at the other hosts in the area, and say like, what is everybody else doing, and what's that one thing that I can do to make myself stand out? What has been the most challenging part of starting your short-term rental business?
Challenging. Gosh, that's a really good question. That's going to stump me. Because for me, I live, eat, and breathe vacation rentals. So if I can't figure, if something challenges me, I'm going to educate myself and to figure out how to do it. Like even when I was looking at Facebook a while ago, and I think I was looking at the Ritz Carlton page of Facebook, and then I saw that they were they had like you could go click on, their tab that said book now. And then, within the Facebook page, there was a booking platform. I'm like, I can do that for sure. So I just learned how to do it. And then, so now on my Facebook page, you don't have to leave Facebook if you want to book with me. You can just book right on that page, see the availability and make a reservation. So I think that that's probably, it doesn't really answer your question because you asked about what's stumped me, but
well, everything, just learning. I think just
it's
learning how to
just
run it.
tenacity. You I think that that's part of what a vacation rental owner is, or host, because it's you running it, and you got to figure it out. Otherwise, it's your success is based on your performance. So.
Great.
Yeah.
And what has been the most challenging part of scaling your Airbnb business?
So scaling, that has been a challenge in terms of my business partners. They've slowed us down because my husband and I, we'd like to buy more, but they've kind of slowed us down because Terry, the other wife, she didn't want to have as much responsibility because she helps me with the maintenance and sometimes helping with guests. And she does all the bookkeeping, which is fantastic. So that's kind of held us back, where my husband and I are now like, okay, we really need to take a step and continue this journey because we love it so much. So, I know we can easily scale up in terms of there's tons of options out there. Private lending for sure, as long as you can get your stats and figures in order. If you can't get your own financing traditionally, because after 2 homes, I think it gets challenging with the banks, or even 3 maybe in the States. So you have to kind of go outside of the box and start to explore areas where you can get more investors, or definitely go the private lending route. But you have to run your numbers in the beginning. Like you have to do your spreadsheet. I just use an Excel spreadsheet to figure out whether a property investment is a good investment or not. And then just itemize all the expenses and your purchase price, what your mortgage is going to be, that kind of thing, to see what's the gross income, the net income at the end of the day. You have to go through your due diligence to make sure you're going to be able to scale up. That's where we're at in our next step, is that my husband and I are just stocking away money and getting ready for the next one.
And are you planning on staying within the Anna Maria short-term rental, vacation rental market? Or are you looking at other options? Because you've been in the space for a long time now, Nancy. Are some of those other things interesting you more, like the whole rental arbitrage or the co-hosting? Are you going to stick primarily with your niche, or are you looking to branch out to other options?
So, well, the 2 businesses keep me very busy. The FLARBO.com, which is the listing website, that keeps me extremely busy. So that's one area that we're really growing like crazy. And that takes a lot of my time. But in terms of scaling up with our own private properties, Anna Maria is a great place. I'd love to invest more, but the prices have doubled since we bought in a long time ago. So for me, it has to make sense dollar-wise to invest there. And I'd love to continue with that area, only for the fact that everything that I've built, like you said, is geared towards that geographical area. So if I started in a new area, I would have to start everything from scratch. It would have to be a new website. It would have to be new Facebook pages and social media pages and new newsletter contact details. So it would all be, the blog articles would all have to be geared towards that new geographical area. So that's holding me back.
Now, kind of going off of that, what would you do differently if you had to start from scratch?
I definitely would skip the property manager only just for the fact that I know how to run the vacation rental business very well. Um, I wouldn't hesitate to go alternate routes financially, and as long as the dollars made sense. Um, I would jump on board and use the booking software right away. Before, I was really doing it on our own, and it was taking the PayPal payments and, tracking those in QuickBooks and everything else. And then so the booking system, the owner reservation booking software I use now, I adore. It's fabulous. So I would jump on that right away. And I would only focus probably on maybe 2 to 3 social media platforms. In the beginning, I was kind of all over the place, even with Twitter. I still do Twitter when I'm blogging and putting out my blog posts, only for the fact that Google ranks it on a higher level. So I do that, but I wouldn't bother with the other ones. And I would probably hire more. I would hire somebody to do the website for me with my direction, because that takes a lot of time. And I love my girlfriend down in Aruba. She does vacation rental websites, Linda Lou at Huskies, and she's on wixcreate.com. So I'd probably use her. And then I would probably, if I was going to scale up, especially going to a different area, I would hire virtual assistants to help me. Because at that point, if I'm managing a lot more, so then I would get people to do the content building for me, and then I would oversee, maybe even a developer. We'd see, yeah. So that's what I would do. Next step.
And are there any tools that you use to manage your properties?
So other than the owner res, we use the Nexia system for the front doors and the door entry codes, because we have our air conditioning linked to it as well, which is a huge saver in terms of utilities. Being in Florida, I mean, people were leaving the doors open all the time while the air conditioning was running and freezing the units. So finally, we put these sensors on the doors that are most often used towards the pool area. And then anytime the door is left open for 5 minutes or longer, it automatically shuts off the air conditioning in the house. So I can see all that on my Nexia app on my phone. And what else do I use? I use Canva like crazy in terms of creating my graphics.
I love Canva.
For all of my website and my blogging and social media posts. Excel, I'm a big Excel user just because I'm really familiar with creating formulas and tracking our and making goals in terms of sales goals. I'm really super focused on that because that was my old life as a director. And I think that's it. Like I said earlier, maybe it was off the air, I would never use a rates algorithm app. I don't trust them. I don't think that they're sophisticated enough yet in terms of recognizing all the amenities, real estate wise, proximity to the beach, all that kind of stuff. I don't think it's in there. Even waterfront versus not waterfront. So having a computer set my rates, it's a no-go for me. And that's pretty much it. My Wix, I use Wix like crazy, and the newsletters that go out from there, the blog. So that's pretty much it, I think, in terms of apps and software that I use.
Now, is there any products that you couldn't live without in your rentals that has helped save you time or money, like, a specific towel, beach towel that you offer people?
I forgot about
like
You're
that?
Welcome. The You're Welcome tablet, I absolutely adore.
Welcome
That's a tablet where you can input how things run for informational purposes with your guests. And they can look up, how does the air conditioner work, that kind of thing. But it also has links to what I call increasing my units per transaction. And that is where I've worked with local tour operators and experiences where I have an affiliate relationship with them, and my renters can book directly off of my iPad tablet for experiences like horseback riding in the water, or flyboarding, or renting golf carts, any of that kind of stuff, and they can order that up straight through my You're Welcome tablet. So that's really good.
So this is a custom built iPad tablet that allows you to give information and also provide affiliate links to activities in the area.
Yeah, so You're Welcome is it's based out of England, the owners. I've met them actually at one of the conferences when they first came out. And it's a fantastic product because I thought I was going to have to try and create this, but it's already a simple to use format where you manage it on your desktop and you input your information as if it was like a property listing, based on your favorite restaurants, how does air conditioning work, things like that. And then you can put a graphic banner that's like a rotating banner on the screen, on the owner dashboard, and then it uploads to the screen. And then that's where you can have them booking right away. And you can charge for more services too. So let's say you're a host that is living in the area and close by, and you want to give tours. So I don't know, tour to Eiffel Tower, I'll say. And then you can charge for that. And then if they want to order that up, then they order that up, and then they contact you and they pay for it right on the tablet. Or if you want it extra clean, you can organize that with your cleaners, or you can do the clean yourself, and then you could charge in there. So you can increase your units per transaction very easily that way. And I'm always looking to maximize my sales.
Wow. Yeah. I've never heard of this tablet, but I just hearing about it is really unique. And I think that that's definitely a way to be able to boost the quality of your service without having to cause a lot more headache. Do you have to reach out to these companies and ask for like an affiliate link, or is that something that the app does?
So yeah, you do, because when I first started this, I just had it on my own website. And so I have all the photos, and then it leads to the booking platform where my guests can go ahead and book. And that's where all of this is directed towards the traffic. And I can also sell this on my social media platforms too, which I do through different posts. And I say, you can book this on this page on my website. So, sorry. So in the area, hardly anybody in my island was even automated. And they're still not automated, the rental companies and things like that. They take it, the old-fashioned way, by the phone for their bookings. But there are some booking platforms where you just one of them is resd.com, and you can ask for you can look up your area, and you can ask for vendor prices, and then the vendors will give you your prices, and then you can grab your link and then place that in your website based on whatever kind of advertising you're doing for it. And then you get paid out through that ResD booking platform because you link your bank account to it and everything. There's also Fair Harbor. I don't know if Peak does it yet. It might. PEEK. And I think that there's other ones too, but I can't remember their names. It's one that comes to mind. It was like a Hawaii one that had like surfboard shared rentals or something like that. But anyway, those are the main ones.
And these are like sites that will reach out to vendors and get affiliate links. Yeah.
So then you go on there and you try and find the tour operators, and then you get the affiliate links. And then that's how you would get your percentage of every sale that you make, that you drive to their platform for booking.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. The combination of the iPad that is informational and unique, and you're offering like something that hotels don't even offer, and you're telling people like, hey, this is stuff that you can do, and if you use this, there's a discount, and you can also pay for like experiences, because experiences is a new thing that Airbnb is also doing.
I was just going to say that the trend is all gone, not just from vacation rentals, but towards experiential visits.
Right.
So
No, it's brilliant, brilliant. Is there anything that you do that has helped your guests leave positive reviews?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Is there anything that you do that has helped your guests leave positive reviews?
So that's on the outgoing guest nurture campaign. And then on my emails that I send out, again, they're my automated emails through my newsletter provider. And that's the first thing that I send out is, hope you had a great stay. I put in pretty photos, and then I ask them for a review right away. But I don't ask them for a review on the booking platform. I ask them for a review on Google or on Facebook, and those are my main ones. So
And why
the
why do
more
you
Google reviews
focus?
you have, the higher your business listing is ranked. So you want more reviews on Google.
Now, the question kind of going off of that real quick is because being in the Florida market, I know that lots of people do direct bookings being for vacation rentals over there, but how important is it for, like, let's say just a regular host, a regular short-term renter host, to be able to get themselves on Google as compared to being just on the platform?
Well, I think it's important to diversify. I mean, if you're only on one platform, if something happened to that listing and that company decided that you were no longer following their guidelines or whatever, and I know people that this has happened to, where they've been delisted, what's going to happen to you the next day? So you really need to be diversified. If you're relying on this money as income to live on, you need to do this. If you're relying on this just for fun, maybe not. But I think it's really important to have your Google listing if this is a business for you, or if this money is important to you as for your lifestyle. Absolutely. So I think that the more diversified you are, the better. And not only that, but there's a huge trend as well for travelers looking for vacation rental owners and Airbnb hosts outside of the platforms. They're savvy now. They know that they're being charged a lot of money to book through that website. So, I mean, the average US family income, I think, is like $50,000 last time I looked. And if you're talking about $400 that you have to pay to a booking platform simply for booking with somebody, not for doing anything else, because let me tell you, these websites, they don't do anything else for you. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for people to pay $400 for just pressing a button. So they're looking for people outside. So I would also suggest diversifying on a listing site that might be regional, or through your chamber or your county, your visitors tourism bureau. They're normally free. So as long as you pay your taxes, they'll ask for that. And then you can put up your listing on there and get more inquiries and bookings straight that way as well, if you don't have a website. So definitely, I think diversifying is important. And as we go forward and the market continues to saturate, I mean, my listings, when I first listed in 2011, I think there was 42 other 4-bedroom houses in the area. Now there's hundreds and hundreds that I am competing against. So it's important. Even if you're in a small area, you're going to find competitors are coming. So you really need to make sure that you're getting as many inquiries from as many places as possible in bookings.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. We've had quite a few guests on the show now that have, they've built that brand, they've built that brand awareness, and they're not just relying on a single platform. They're all moving their bookings to direct bookings and offering it to, they're offering it to people to book through Airbnb and VRBO, these different platforms, but they are establishing.
I think Joe Godar, he's also a listing site owner down in Emerald Coast. And he put it brilliantly when he was explaining it on a webinar one day I was watching. And he said, if you owned a pizza shop, would you let somebody come up and put another shop in front of your pizza shop, and then you had to sell your pizza through that business, and then they sold your pizza for an extra, 10 cents? Would you do that? It really puts it more in a perspective of how you need to really kind of stand alone and build a little bit more independence.
Everybody has to establish their pizza shop.
Exactly.
If you could give one piece of advice to someone who's trying to start their short-term rental or vacation rental business, what would that be?
I think it would just be educate yourself as much as you can. Don't be afraid. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Honestly, if you have the passion, if you like people, you should do it. And just, there's so many great resources out there. I mean, there's your podcast here, which is fabulous. There's a Cottage Blogger. There's VRMB, which is a marketing blog. There's a lot more offerings out there where you can get support and network with people and find the answers that you need and really, jump ahead of the curve. The VR Master that I'm teaching at in St. Louis, for sure, attend that if you can. It's a couple days and you'll walk away with completely being set up. So it's, if you can start that way, I think that's fabulous. You'll be ahead of the curve.
And is there one house rule that has saved you before?
One house rule. I think it would be back to the old mantra of, we're not interested in renting to anybody. And we stick to our guns. Like, we have one house that's maximum 6 adults and 4 kids because the bunk beds are not as strong as the old fashioned bunk beds. So we're worried about adults being in them. We're not so concerned about, worried about losing out, I guess would be my thought. I'm trying to extend here is that, it's okay to say no if they don't fit your profile, because in the end, you'll be happier for it because you'll have less expenses and less bad experiences. So follow your gut and stick to your guns and stick to your rules, and everything will be great.
And I think I'm really curious to know this from you, because you're such an expert in the short-term rental space. Where do you see short-term rentals going in the future?
I see them still continuing to rise like crazy. I do. But I do see a lot more diversification. I mean, right now, Airbnb is becoming a verb. Are you going to go Airbnb? So, it's just becoming so large, and the VRBO is becoming so large too. So I think that there's room in the market. You'll see a lot of smaller regional listing sites rising up with the book direct movement that's happening. So I see that happening, and there's so much saturation in the large online listing agencies too. It's a lot easier to find smaller listing on your county visitor tourism board. It's a lot easier to get found there. So I just see it expanding, which is great. I mean, I've been part of it for a long time, and it's just skyrocketed. I don't see it stopping.
Yeah, I think just the point that you made before about when you started in Anna Maria, and it was just like you had your home and you had the pool and you had the barbecue grill, but now you have to put the water slides, you have to put the disco ball, you have to put like the 2 grills now, you have to have everything. And I think that you're right in that it's in order to be able to compete and for your unit to be able to stand out as it becomes more saturated, is you really have to establish yourself as not just like a brand identity, but what does your brand also have to offer that other people can't.
Exactly.
And is there any way that people can reach you?
So yeah, there's lots of different ways. So if somebody's in Florida and they have a vacation rental, they can find us at FLARBO.com, FLARBO.com. And that's an email address is info@floridarentalbyowners.com. There's one S. And if they wanted to reach me through my own rentals, they can contact me through my website. It's AMIHomeRental.com. AMIHomeRental.com, and also it's info@AMIHomeRental.com for the email address. And then if they wanted to attend the Vacation Rental Master Boot Camp, they can go on to Tyann and Alana's website directly there at vrmaster.com.
And of course, I'll include everything in the show notes, all the links, all the ways that you can reach out to Nancy. I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to be able to educate the audience. I think you have such a wealth of knowledge and being in the space for so long and you're living it, you're doing it, and you're just all about it. I really hope I hope to see more of you and keep on hearing the amazing content that you offer for free and yeah, thank you so much. And until next time, keep on hosting. Hope you hosts benefited from the show. Like any exceptional host, we all strive for 5-star reviews. So please go on over to iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, wherever you're frequently listening to the show, and leave us an honest review. Let us know what we're doing right or how we can improve, because that's what we want to do. We want to become better hosts. I want to become a better podcast host and a better Airbnb host. Talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace out.